What's going on? Frank Rock, House of Orange TV, Tennessee, with another win tonight to go to 4-0, 91-66 over Rice. They'll be back in action again on Wednesday night against Tennessee State before they go to Las Vegas next week when the competition is going to amp up a bit. Hit that like, that share, that subscribe. Thank you so much for the support. Thanks for hanging in there with me along the way also. But Tennessee takes care of business. It's a game where there were times where it felt like the game was a little closer than it needed, but then Tennessee gets away in the second half with it. They went in. Let me pull it back up here. First half, they were up 39-26 at the break, and then they outscored Rice 52-40 in the second half, 91-66 final once again on that. Of course, the big story of the night, I think, coming out of this is what is the extent of JP Estrella's injury, and it just really kind of makes you sick. Hopefully it's nothing major, but obviously he was in pain when he hit the ground. And I watched the replay a few times, and I couldn't really pick up on what happened. I didn't see anything that just looked out of the ordinary with it. Obviously he was hurt, and he had trouble putting pressure on the knee walking off. You hope it's something that's worst case, maybe he's out the rest of the week and he can be out for Vegas, but hadn't seen anything else. Hadn't seen any speculation. Nobody's speculating on that right now. So hopefully, especially, man, the guy played 3 games last year. They talked about it. Dane Bradshaw mentioned on the telecast how Estrella said it killed him watching his teammates couldn't help last year. Hopefully he'll be back out there soon because he's definitely one of the most important players on this team at this point. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But your normal guys tonight, if I had to give a player the game, man, I could go a couple different ways. I'm probably going Felix Akpara tonight. 20 points, 8 rebounds for him, 4 out of 4 free throw line, 2 assists as well. I thought he had a really good game tonight, his best game of the year so far. Of course, Gillespie was 17 points, 8 assists, 4 rebounds. My thing there, he's got to fix the turnovers. 4 turnovers again tonight. Nate Ament, 19 and 10 for him. And he just makes it look effortless. I'm telling you, he is, when he gets rolling, when this guy gets rolling, he's going to put up some big games. I'm just telling you right now, it's going to happen. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when it happens. But, obviously that's your main guys. Gillespie, Cade Phillips started 5 points, 5 boards. Amari Abram, he started tonight with Bishop Boswell out, had 2 points, 1 out of 7 shooting, 4 boards, 4 assists on the night. Other contributors, Ethan Berg played quite a bit tonight, 24 minutes, had 11 points. He looked good, 3 out of 7. Field goals, 3 out of 5, 3-point, 2 out of 2 at the free throw line. Jalen Carey had a good game tonight, 17 minutes. And I would think he would, I don't know, because Estrella has more been playing the 5. I think he could play the 4, possibly even the 3 in some instances. But Carey is a guy, I was excited when they got him. And 9 points, 5 boards tonight. His role's got to continue to increase. And I think he'd kind of gotten in the doghouse a little bit. But, he's still there. And then you had Dwayne Brown, 4 points on the night. Estrella in his 9 minutes, 4 points, 1 board. Let's see, that was it on the scoring for tonight. You had Troy Henderson, who played, no points. Masamba, Amari Evans, no points for them. But they talked about it on the telecast too, where this team really flourishes, their front court. They went out and they built a front court. And again, Estrella is going to be a big part of that, hopefully. Hopefully that injury is not serious. But they're dominating teams so far on the boards. Points in the paint, 52 points in the paint tonight. That's pretty absurd. Actually, out of 91 points. That's pretty crazy what they did. But percentage-wise, 52% field goals. They held Rice to 33. They held Rice's number 1 scorer, Broadnax, 0 out of 6, 0 for 16 from the field, 5 points. All of them were from the free throw line on the night. But held Rice to 29% 3-point. Tennessee 32% free throw line. They got to the line a whole lot more in the second half, 77% for the game opposed to 72. 11-11 on turnovers. Rice did get more points off turnovers, 17-14, but then Tennessee dominated the boards 47-31 on the night. Second chance points, Tennessee with 22. Bench points, 28-27. Again, I mentioned points in the paint, 52-16. And then fast break points, 14-11 on that tonight. Tennessee did have 23 assists on the night opposed to 11 turnovers. Rice, 8 assists, 11 turnovers. Efficiency-wise, you had Okpara, who ranked the highest for the game. You had Nate Ament next, Jacoby Gillespie, and then Jalen Carey. So, looking at it moving forward, what this team's doing so far, I mean, they've really not been tested. And I'm not really counting the exhibition game against Duke. Obviously, they got beat in that one. And that was, I think, a good game for them. See what they had. But, this team's got a lot of potential. I'm curious to see, though, where they go with the two-guard slot. Boswell, when he's back. Berg seems to me like he's getting better and better in that role as well. I'm struggling right now to stay awake. I'm not going to lie to you. But Berg's getting better in that role. I do think Amari Abram can contribute there as well. I think there'll be some nights he hits some big shots for them. But this is no doubt Jacoby Gillespie, Nate Ament show. And Okpara doing what he does will be big. Cade Phillips contributing, what he does. Going to be big, though. Again, I keep going back to it. I think the Estrella thing is big for them because he's been one of their best players so far. He is needed on this team in a big way. But, moving forward again, you got Tennessee State. Again, to me, it's not the most difficult non-conference schedule that I've seen Tennessee, put together. You've got coming up Tennessee State. I said Wednesday. It's Thursday night, not Wednesday night. Thursday night, 7 o'clock. And then next week, the 24th, 25th, you play Rutgers at 1 p.m. on Monday, Houston at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, and then they'll play one more game either Wednesday or Thursday, depending on how that Players Era Men's Championship goes. And it's a good field. Alabama, Auburn, Baylor, Creighton, Gonzaga, Houston, Iowa State, Kansas, Maryland, Michigan, Notre Dame, Oregon, Rutgers, San Diego State, St. John, Syracuse, Tennessee, UNLV. And then Tennessee will come back. They play at Syracuse December 2nd, play Illinois in Nashville December 6th, Louisville and Knoxville December 16th, Gardner-Webb in South Carolina. That wraps up non-conference play the 21st and the 30th, respectively. And then they go into conference play January 3rd. They'll start off at Arkansas. So, it's about to start getting real next week with them. Curious to see what they'll look like. I don't know much about Rutgers right now, but we know Houston's ranked number 1 in the country. That'll be a good test to see where this team is at right now. And, my thought on it is this team, when they put it together, I think will be hard to beat on nights. But we can see there's probably going to be some of those nights where it's with Rick Barnes teams where they're not shooting maybe that great. So it's, man, the Estrella thing's going to be big. Again, really hope for him. Best wishes to him that he's able to make a recovery soon because they're going to need him. They're going to need him in that front court depth. He adds a big part to it also. Again, I'm curious to see more how much Ethan Berg continues to build, and maybe I could see him. I mean, I've said it before. I think Boswell's played good to start the season, and he's hitting some open shots. That's what you want out of him. I think Berg is a little more aggressive. I think he's more of a scorer than Boswell is. So I'll be curious to see how they go with that. They have a lot of options. I still maintain it's a fun team. I think it's a team capable of a lot this year. But, there's going to be those moments, too. You see it where they do have, sometimes some lineups out there that's not full of scores on it. So you about got to have Gillespie or Ament out there at the same time, or at least one of them out there sometime. I expect big things out of both those guys, and it'll be fun to see once they get into more action, because I think your intensity will obviously intensify when you play the Houstons, the Rutgers, whomever else they play out in Vegas, and then some of these Power 5 non-conference opponents as well. But Tennessee took care of business tonight. Again, there were times it felt closer than it should be, but then they got away and they were just too much when it was all said and done. And good win, 4-0, good start to the season so far. And we'll see them in action again on Thursday. This is Frank. This is the House of Orange. Have a great rest of your evening, and I'll see you. Want to see you.